Proverbs. Proverbs 31:10-31. The wife of noble character. Let's start at verse 10. A wife of noble character, who can find? She's worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She is like the merchant ships bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it's still night. Sounds like she stayed up during the night. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks. She sees that her trading is profitable and her lamp does not go out at night. In her hand she holds the distaff and grasps a spindle with her fingers. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. When it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. She makes coverings for a bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. Her husband is respected in the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies the merchants with sashes. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive, and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Honour her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. And today it's great to see that she's been honoured for all that she's done.
As has been said, Ivy regularly liked to sing songs, and if you'd ever heard Ivy's songs, I'm sure she would have sung this particular song to you, or at you, or with you, whichever it would have been. So just feel free to sing along. This song, this is quite a important song for me as well, because my dad used to sing the song all the time, even recorded it. This is one of Ivy's favourites. I'm only human, and I'm just a man. Help me believe in all I should be, in all that I am, and show me the stairway that I have to climb. Lord, for my sake, will teach me to take one day at a time, and one day at a time. Sweet Jesus, that's all I'm asking of you. Just give me the strength to do every day what I have to do. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus, and tomorrow may never be mine.
Lord, for my sake, teach me to take one day at a time. Do you remember when you walked among men? Well, Jesus, you know, if you're looking below, it's worse now than then. Pushing and shouting, crowding my mind. So for my sake, just teach me to take one day at a time. One day at a time, sweet Jesus, that's all I'm asking from you. Just give me the strength to do every day what I have to do. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus, and tomorrow may never be mine. So Lord, for my sake, teach me to take one day at a time. Lord, for my sake, teach me to take one day at a time.
There'll be bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover tomorrow. Just you wait and see. There'll be love and laughter and peace ever after tomorrow, when the world is free. The shepherd will tend his sheep, the valley will bloom again, and Jimmy will go to sleep in his own little room again. There'll be bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover tomorrow. Just you wait and see. The shepherd will tend his sheep, the valley will bloom again, and Jimmy will go to sleep in his own little room again. There'll be bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover tomorrow. Just you wait and see.
if my words did glow with the gold of sunshine, and my tunes were played on the harp unstrung, would you hear my voice come through the music? Would you hold it near as it were your own? It's a hand-me-down. The thoughts are broken, perhaps they're better left unsung. I don't know, don't really care. Let there be songs to fill the air. Ripple in still water when there is no pebble tossed, nor wind to blow. Reach out your hand. If your cup be empty, if your cup is full, may it be again. Let it be known there is a fountain that was not made by the hands of men. There is a road, no simple highway between the dawn and the dark of night. And if you go, no one may follow. That path is for your steps alone. Ripple in still water when there is no pebble tossed, no wind to blow. You choose to lead, must follow. But if you fall alone. If you should stand, then who's to guide you? If I knew the way, I would take you home. La da da da, la da da da, la da da, la da da da, la da da, la da This world is not my home, I'm just a passing through. My treasures are laid up somewhere beyond the blue. The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, then Lord, what will I do? The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. I have a loving mother just over in Golden Land, and I don't expect to stop until I shake your hand. She's waiting now for me at heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Just over in glory land we live eternally. The saints on every hand are shouting victory. Their songs of sweetest praise drift back from heaven's shore, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, then Lord, what will I do? The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore.
Mum read a verse from 2 Timothy 4:7 that said, I fought the good fight. I fought the good fight, I finished the race, and I've kept the faith. Tracy, Lee, Owen, began coming to a youth group I was running when she was about 15 years of age. And it ended up that Herb and Ivy began coming to church after that period of time. Herb was really committed, and Ivy did a lot of work within the church, and we talked about pasties, and must have been thousands of them, I think, or Lamingtons. There were so many for fundraising events that Herb and Ivy were always at the church helping with whatever had to happen. Herb and Ivy were very good friends with my mum and dad, and a really big part of the church, and that's where we got to know them very, very well. You know, they talked about how it was a shock when Tracy came along. I think a bigger shock than that was when Steve Lee ended up in the Owen family. You know, things like, now every time I think of Ivy and Herb, I always think of poison ivy or Herbie Goes Bananas. And that was sort of what you called them sometime during the time. Probably with the influence of Steve Lee. You know, she was an absolutely wonderful lady, and I remember many times being around 31 Boardman Street and the church people there, and were having barbecues, and I actually remember water around the place at times. You know, Tracy loving fire so much from her mother, no wonder she married Stephen, and there's still fire going off everywhere these days. You know, after Ivy accepted Christ into her life, she never left her faith. You know, oftentimes in the church we'd see people come in and for a little while they attend church and serve God, but Ivy never left her faith from that time, and she put her faith into action. She helped so many people. You know, the thing about our life is here on earth we're trying to accomplish what really only heaven can offer. You know, Jesus made a statement, he said, I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the life. And Ivy found the way, she found the truth, and she found life. You know, oftentimes things that are offered where she is today is the things we search for in life. Some people pray for these things to happen, do their best to see these things happen, things like abundant provisions, free from sickness and pain, fullness of joy, no money problems, no jealousy, and inner peace, being totally fulfilled, knowing your future is always secure. See yourself as a person that is beautiful and made in perfection. You don't have any temptation to do wrong. You're totally satisfied. You love life. You never worry about your family because you know they're well. You're fully loved for who you are. You have the best of all things. You don't have to try and prove yourself to other people. You're not wanting to be someone else or have what other people have. There's no stress, there's no depression, there's no addictions that can hold you. You're free to be yourself without being judged by others. And many of these things we're looking for in life. But you know what? Today, Ivy has all them things in total fulfillment. She is fully satisfied. She is fully loved. And I can guarantee she doesn't want to come back here. Now, I've heard many stories about people having an after-death experience, and sometimes I've looked on Google, because Google knows everything, and or YouTube, and you see people who've had an after-death experience. But the thing that is constantly common with what these people say is the place is so amazing, it's so peaceful, it's so grand, the music is astounding, the smells are beautiful, the flowers are exceptional, and we don't want to come back to this world. In our life, I think the older we get, the more we realise how short life is. And the book of Philippians, chapter 1, verse 23 and 24, Paul said these words. He said, I'm torn between the two. I desire to part and be with Christ, which is better by far. But it's more necessary for you that I remain in the body. And Ivy remained with us for a long time. She lived to a good age. And just listening today about the impact that she had on her children and the friends and family round about her, she was loved by all. And I know many of you here will miss her greatly. So some people think that heaven might be boring and all we do is sit on clouds and play harps, but it's nothing like that. It's like our life with everything that we've ever longed for in possession. But there's a story of a man called Henry C. Morrison, as a great missionary who served the Lord in Africa for over 40 years. And on the way back to the United States, he began to wonder, will anybody remember us? Unknown to Henry Morrison and his wife, Teddy Roosevelt, the President of the US, was also on board that ship. He'd gone to Africa for a hunting trip. When the ship pulled into New York Harbour, he looked to see if anyone had come to welcome them back home. There were thousands of people cheering. Bands were playing. There were signs, banners and billboards everywhere saying, welcome home. Henry and his wife were so excited about the crowds of people that were there to welcome them home. And when finally they got off the boat, they realised that the people had already gone. They'd come to welcome Teddy Roosevelt. Henry Morrison went to his hotel room with a very heavy heart, and he sat there on the bed and he asked his wife, honey, I don't just get it. For 40 years we've poured our lives into the ministry and service in Africa. And yet we come back to America and not a single person comes to welcome us home. His wife came and sat down next to her husband. She put her hand on his shoulder and comforted him with the words that he'll never forget. Henry, you're not home yet. I can tell you, Ivy's gone home. In John chapter 14, verse 1, it says, do not let your hearts be troubled. Believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms, or some versions say many mansions. And if it were not so, I would have told you, because I'm going there to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I'm coming again and will take you to myself, so that where I am, you will be also. You know, one thing that I know that Ivy would love to see, for every person that's ever played a part in her life, or who she's played a part in their life, that she would love for them to also see the way, the truth, and the life. And the only way we're doing that is finding Jesus Christ, who will bring us home if our heart is for him. I have a great confidence knowing that one day I will see Ivy again with other people that have gone before me that have served God with their life. And I look forward to that day that I will look into the face of Jesus Christ and he'll say, welcome home, just like he said to Ivy. I don't feel sad for Ivy today. I have sadness for those that she's left behind, but she's in a far better place. And I'm confident, because of how I've lived, that I believe I know the truth, I believe I know the way, and I believe I know where real life is. And today I would encourage everyone, if you've never considered looking to Jesus Christ, I know Ivy would have wanted you to hear a message today to say, hey, it's the way to go. God bless you.
And I'll be loving you always with the love that's true, always. And when the things you've planned need a helping hand, and I will understand always, always. Days may not be fair, always, and that's when I'll be there, always, and not just for an hour, not for just a day, and not for just a year.